Alrighty, so it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today what we're really going to be doing is just jumping into booj and focusing on the booj websites. I was trying to think when I was writing out the email last night if this should be like a 1.0 or a 2.0 version. I think it's going to kind of fall a little bit in the middle. So I'll give you enough where you guys can go back and be dangerous and kind of start messing around with your accounts and your websites. But my main goal is to get you guys comfortable to the point where everybody, at least that's on this call or watches it later, should have a live published account on their booj website so that everybody can find you. Carmen says to be dangerous. All right, good. So I am going to jump in. So if everyone can see my screen, I'm logged into Mac Center. If you log in and your tiles look like this, great, you can jump directly into booj. If not, the apps button over here on the left side of the screen will show you all of your apps, and you can just go through and find your booj account, which is down here at the bottom apparently. So before we jump into booj, as a quick reminder, I want to actually jump into the profile section of your Mac Center account. So for those of you that haven't gone in and updated this profile section is actually what's going to feed to your websites. So if you remember back in the times of Lead Street, which seemed very long ago, but you had kind of your profile on there and that fed to your agent website. So it's a similar concept, just your profile in Mac Center is what's going to feed to your booj website. So if you have issues with maybe your headshot, you want to update it to a new one, your contact info is incorrect or anything like that, you can actually do that here in your Mac Center profile. So I'm going to click into this and jump into update profile, just so you guys can see it. And I am in Sandy's account because I wanted to give you guys a real viewpoint as an agent of what this all looks like. So Sandy's account might look a little bit different just because she is a BIC. But you can come in here, you can edit your photo. On the left side here, you kind of have a little menu. So you can come in and update things like your general info. So if you change your name for any reason, your birthday, most of this stuff will probably stay the same. But under contact info, what is nice right now is that you can come in and you can upload all of your social media accounts. And so right now, while booj is kind of still working on some of the aspects of the websites, it is nice because you can still link in like your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, anything like that through this section in your Mac Center profile. So it looks like Sandy has most of her stuff filled out. If for whatever reason you needed to add something, there's just this little add button here at the bottom, and it will open up this little window. You can scroll down and see it. And pretty much you're just going to tell it what it is that you're adding. So if you already have something on your account, it's not going to show it here. So like she already has her Facebook account linked up here. But if you didn't, you could click on Facebook, and then you're just going to add in the website address for that account. That makes sense? So it's nice, and I'll show it what it looks like when we get into the actual websites. But essentially, all of these will be like little links on your bio section of your website. And then, of course, you can go down and edit your photos, your professional details, so your license numbers, your specialties, all that fun stuff. Under personal details, this one's important. This is where you can update your bio. So your bio, you want to just give a quick rundown of, your experience, a little bit about yourself, maybe the area that you focus in, things like that. But people do read the bio, so just take a second and make sure it's something that people can kind of connect with and is concise, of course, because we don't want a whole novel. And then, of course, you can put in your education, activities, hobbies, things of that nature, languages. All right. As far as the MLS affiliation, we have already taken care of that on a company level. So yours should be green, active, live, good to go. So there's not really much you need to change there. And then awards, this is something that corporate is doing. So they just kind of use your year-to-date numbers and update it with your awards in here as well. Awesome. Any questions on the profile? There's not really like a save button unless you're inside of an individual field. So you can kind of just click return back to Mac Center, and it will bring you back to Mac Center. questions on profile. Really easy, straightforward, but it does get fed to your website, so it is important. Cool. So I'm going to jump into the booj tile now, the booj portal. And so when you log in, you'll be brought to this screen, which is just kind of like your dashboard. Everybody's may look a little bit different depending on kind of your settings and your preferences that you've put in, but it will look something like this. It takes a second to load, so don't freak out if it doesn't load right away. You can always close out and try to go back into it. All right, so before I jump into websites, I want to point out right under here on the left side under the booj logo is what's called your role. And so for those of you that are team leaders or team members, you can kind of switch between a couple different roles. So I want to make sure everybody is on their individual agent account. So you can click on that. If you hit this little drop down arrow, it will give you all of the different options here. And so just make sure that yours says agent and then your name. Because what that means is essentially you're given a few different aspects of the booj platform. So if you're a team leader or a team member, you actually have another kind of viewpoint in your booj account as your team member, team leader status. So what we're working on today is going to be your agent website. So you want to make sure that you're under your agent view. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay. And if you guys have questions kind of as we're going through this, just jump in and unmute yourself or throw something in the chat and I will get to it so that we can hopefully get these websites up and running. Okay, so we're back on the dashboard. I want everyone to go to the website tab and click on the first one that says dashboard. So if you have published your account or your website, your screen's going to look exactly like this. If you have not published yours, the only difference is that you're going to have like a little green banner that goes right across the top here. And your website address is going to be in that green banner. And then instead of unpublish, this button on the right is going to say published. So whether you've published or not, the first thing that I want to do is actually jump into editing the website and just making sure that everything looks good. So Remax did a really nice job. They created all these templates and they kind of built out your site for you. So if you like to customize stuff, awesome, great. This will be kind of more on your speed. If you want to just look at your website and make sure it looks good and just publish it as is, that is totally fine too. You're still going to have a really nice site. So we're going to jump into this edit button here. And it's going to bring up our website editor. And if everyone's on the screen, then we'll continue. Okay, so the website is made up of content blocks. And for those of you that have watched some of our trainings before, you already know this, but for those of you that need a little refresher, so content blocks are shown here on the left, and they're literally just blocks of content. So the content itself kind of differs, and if you look, it'll give you like a nice little description of what exactly the content block contains. And so really what you're doing to build out this website, they've made it really simple for you, is you're just stacking these content blocks on top of each other and building out your site. So you'll notice on the left, we have one that says header, image slideshow with search. So when you look on the right, this is kind of your preview screen. So it's giving you your header image, and it is a slideshow. So that means you can click and it goes to different photos. And then here's your little search bar. So that's your first content block. Beneath that, you'll see the bio, option 1, whatever that means, but the bio itself is going to be here. And I will point out, for some people in the preview, for whatever reason, the bio itself does not show. So you may have like what Sandy has, where it just has the balloon and kind of little dummy text. But when you publish it or when you preview it, the bio will pull through. So you can always come back even if you do publish your website and make changes to it. So don't stress, but just a weird little glitch with that. And then beneath it, so she has manual testimonials, which I do not, oh, okay, here we go. Her manual testimonials are here, and I'm going to show you guys how you can enter in those manual testimonials. What that essentially means is that rather than using a site like Zillow where you can collect testimonials automatically and kind of link it in, she is actually going through and typing out these reviews in her booj account, and that's being fed to her website. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So if that is how you collect reviews, it's definitely a great option. It's just a little more work because you have to type it out, but it's still totally fine. And then, of course, the listings grid. These are your listings. If for whatever reason they're not showing on your preview, that is okay. They will pull through when you publish your site. And then again, social media. And then we have the call to action block. On some of yours, it might be called a CTA. Oh, did it say Joe? I had a feeling, Amy, that it was the fake testimonials. I'll go back and look at them. So call to action is here, which just is essentially prompting somebody that's visiting your website to download the RE/MAX mobile app, which will be branded to you if they download it from your website, or creating a remax.com account so they can do home searches and things like that. And then last but not least is the video. Oh, no, she has two. The video and then the contact form. So I'm going to jump up and address the reviews because I didn't actually read them. I just saw that they were there. So for those of you with the manual testimonials content block, they do put in sample testimonials, and I'll show you guys where you can edit this, so don't worry. What you can do for now is just click and put this into draft mode while we edit it. But if you have the manual testimonials blocked in there, a lot of the times you will have the sample testimonials, which has an agent named Joe that they're actually reviewing. So obviously not everyone is named Joe, and these are fake reviews, so we'll go in and we'll delete those just so you guys can see kind of what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up to the top, and I want to start off just with this first content block. So let's say that these two photos are just not my favorite photos, and I just want to start with something else. So you can edit a lot of these content blocks. You can change the photos on them. You can change some of the text, the videos that are linked in, whatever you need to do. So just go to the content block that you're trying to edit and hit this little pencil. And so if you remember, this one was a slideshow. And so when you think about a slideshow, it just kind of flips between multiple photos. So it automatically puts two photos in here, but you can add additional items if you want to, add additional photos. And you can also go through and change out the photos that are already in your account. So if you want to change the photos, really simple. Again, you just hit this little pencil, and it's going to bring you to this screen, and you just click on the photo itself. And it brings up this whole library of photos to choose from. So if you like one of the photos that are in here, they have like 17 pages, so you have a ton of options for things you can customize. You just select the photo that you want, and you'll just hit this insert button at the bottom right. If for whatever reason, I'm just gonna cancel so you guys can see it again. If for whatever reason you want to upload your own photo, on the right side here, you can hit accept terms, and it will allow you to upload your own photo. So some people have been putting in like team photos or photos of their listings or something of that nature, or even photos from kind of the area of town that you live in. So whatever you want and however you want to brand yourself, you can upload kind of photos that fit that style. Just make sure they're high resolution, because no one likes to go onto a website and it just looks really blurry and unprofessional. So if you do upload a photo, just do a high res one, but you can do that here, and you can just pull it from your desktop or Dropbox or wherever. Okay, any questions so far? All right.
Yes, one about photos, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to use a combination of your own photos and some of them that are available from that group, can they be combined together?
Yeah, definitely. So if you just want to do like a slideshow with a mixture of photos, is kind of what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So what I would do is you can either go through and edit the two photos that are already in there and upload your own, or use one of the ones that are in the library. But if you want to add additional ones, you just hit add item here. And same concept, you're going to click to choose your image. And then again, you can choose from the library, or you can choose to upload your own. But yeah, definitely a mix is always good, because if everyone uses all the sample photos in here, then everyone's sites are going to look the same. So,
Great, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And the only thing to note, if you do choose to add an additional item, you do have to put some sort of image description here. So it could just be like image 3, image 4. Doesn't exactly matter because no one can see the image description. But I think my recommendation, if you're gonna do a slideshow kind of at the very top of your page, do at least 4 photos so that people have something to actually click through. Cool. All right, if we are comfortable with the image slideshow, I'm gonna go back. So I can hit this little arrow and it will bring me back to my content blocks. So the next one on my list is the bio. So remember when we first started, the bio section is actually your Mac Center profile. So if you can actually see what is in your bio here and you want to change something, jump back to your Mac Center profile and make those changes. It may take a second for it to kind of filter through, but at least you know if it's in Mac Center and your profile correct, it will feed to your website eventually correctly as well. Awesome. And I will point out, if you link or if you enter in all your social media profiles in your Mac Center profile as well, what's going to happen is you'll have a few little icons for the different sites in this bio section here. And so people can click into your Facebook page or your LinkedIn or whatever it is that you're directing them to. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip over manual testimonials just for a second, just as that's going to take us kind of out of this website editor. But for those of you that maybe don't want to enter in your own testimonials, maybe you use Zillow to collect your reviews, there is actually a workaround here. So what you can do, at the bottom left, there's this Adblock button. So you can hit Adblock and you can actually type in Zillow, and they have a Zillow review block. And so if you click into that, it's going to allow you to enter your Zillow screen name. And for those of you that don't know what your Zillow screen name is, that's okay, because you can open up a new tab and literally Google yourself and the word Zillow, and your account should pull up. And so a lot of the times the Zillow screen names are not something that you created. It's usually just something random that Zillow made for you. So I'm just going to pull up Sandy's Zillow profile, and I'm going to go down. Yeah, she has 80 reviews on here, so we definitely want to get that linked up. And so on the right side here, this is, again, just her generic Zillow profile. So on the right side under professional info, you have screen name, Sandy is your agent, and I'm just going to copy that. Any questions on how to get to Zillow and how to pull up your screen name? If anyone has any issues, you can email me and I can try to pull it up for you. But so I'm going to jump back to booj, and all I'm going to do is paste her screen name right in this section. And look, automatically all of her reviews from Zillow are coming through. And so to be honest, if you're using Zillow for your reviews, that is definitely the easiest way to get your reviews onto your website. The manual testimonials are great because before we didn't have an option if you didn't use Zillow to get your reviews on here. But if you already have Zillow and you're already using it, I would recommend just go ahead and adding that content block into your website. Now, you notice that the new content block, my Zillow review block, is all the way down here at the bottom. And so obviously I want it to be up at the top next to my bio and my listings, just because then people will actually read it. So you can hover over the content block until you have this little 4-pointed arrow, or I'm not really sure what that's called, to be honest, but until you see this little symbol that you see on the screen, and you can click and hold and drag this content block up to wherever you want it. And so when you move it, just to kind of protect you, it automatically puts it into draft mode. Like maybe you're just having a really spazzy morning. I have them all the time, and you just accidentally move this. So it protects you by putting it into draft mode, which means that you can see it on your website. So I can scroll down and see it in my preview here, my Zillow reviews. But then when you go to my actual live remax.com website, it's not visible to the public. So since I'm happy with the way that the review block looks, I'm just going to go ahead and toggle it over to published. And so now if someone goes onto my website, they'll be able to see the reviews. I had a question in the chat. So could you do the same with LinkedIn testimonials? So right now, the only options are the Zillow testimonials and your manual testimonials. And so if you did have reviews on LinkedIn, you'd probably want to enter them in through the manual section, unfortunately. And if anything changes, they're adding content blocks all the time, so we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. But right now, it's just the Zillow and the manual testimonials. Cool. Any other questions before I keep going?
Sarah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out of the website for a second, kicked out of the meeting. My website's live. How do I get to the editing the content block again? I've forgotten.
Oh, so if you go to website and then the dashboard button.
Yep.
And then there should be an edit pages option that's kind of in the middle of the screen.
Edit agent social layout?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry.
Okay. So I don't have to unpublish it. Okay, got it. Got it. I'm good.
And then you should be on the screen.
Yep, got it.
Perfect. Okay. And then Ron asked in the chat, can you remind us how to attach to Canopy or to the MLS? So we actually already did that for you. So you don't have to worry about any type of MLS integration. We took care of that at an office level. So the only thing I'll point out is sometimes in the preview mode, some people have had issues where their listings aren't coming through, but once you publish it, your listings, from what I've seen, are coming through just fine. It's just kind of a weird glitch in the preview. But if you notice anything different on your sites, please let me know, and we will put a ticket in. Okay, any other questions?
Hey, Sarah, darling, I have a really quick question. Where do we edit our actual bio for this?
Yeah, so the bio section, and I'm going to jump back just to my Mac Center tab up here. So the whole bio section, which is this, is going to be under your Mac Center profile, which on the main Mac Center page is going to be in the top right, and it'll give you an option to update profile. And then from there, you can add in like your picture, your contact info, your bio itself, your social media links. If you have an external website that you want to link to it, you can do all of that through your profile there. Does that make sense? Good? Okay. All right. So,
Sarah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out for a short bit there. You might have covered this, if so, I apologize. In the testimonials, can you use a combination of Zillow and manual?
Yeah, so you definitely can. So what it does, because of the way the website is built up of content blocks, you would actually have two different sections of reviews. So if you wanted to do that, maybe you would just kind of space them out on your website so it's not just stacked on top of each other, a bunch of reviews. But yeah, I mean, if you want to add two different sections in, you're more than welcome to. It won't combine them into one section though, if that's what you're trying to do. It will always be two content blocks, one of the Zillow reviews and one of the manual.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Questions? Okay. All right, so the listings grid, and I'm going to click on it just so you can see it. What it does is it pulls through your listings, and I believe now it should be pulling in company listings if you don't have any inventory right now. But it's going to pull through your top 6 listings if you do have listings on the market. This one you'll notice you can't really edit, just again because it's linked to MLS. It's just going to automatically sync up your listings and inventory to that section. So all you really need to do for that content block is make sure that it's in a position on your website that you're happy with. So if you wanted to move it all the way up to the top, just click and drag it and move it around. But there's not really much else that you need to do with that section. The same applies with this social media section. social media content block. So this is something that Remax LLC is working on. So we're not quite sure exactly how this is going to look, but if you have this on your site right now, what it's doing is just linking to Remax Corporate's social media profiles. So if you're not happy with that, or you want to wait and see kind of what happens with it, you can definitely just put this into draft mode. And then again, it'll show on your preview version of the website, but it won't show on your actual live version of the website. Okay. And then scrolling down. The call to action, again, there's not anything that you need to do here. This content block is pretty much taken care of for you. What it's doing is prompting somebody that's on your site, like a consumer that's on your site, to create a Remax account. And so whether that's downloading the app or just creating a desktop version of their account, they can do all of that through here, and it's going to be linked and branded to you if they're doing it from your website.
Sarah, why does it say about me when it's everybody's is all the same? Is it always going to be the same?
I'm not sure if they're going to end up changing this. I know they uploaded a few different options of what exactly the call to action block can look like. So when we jump into kind of adding and customizing, we can look at the different options for that if you don't like the about me.
Well, it just seems redundant because we've said about me in the bio up top, right? So then it's about me, and it's not about me. It's about Remax. Or
I guess that is true. So maybe you want to change that one, yeah.
About everybody.
It's about everybody, yeah. So I don't really know, but we can
Sarah,
definitely, go ahead.
Before we go too much further in this, can I ask a question about team leaders and team members?
Sure.
When you were pulling down Sandy's, it showed her as a team leader.
Mm-hmm.
Will the other people on the team show as team member as their role?
Yes. And
Okay,
so it gives you a few options. So as team leader, you are kind of responsible for creating your team website as well as your individual agent website. And so what will happen is if you're a team member, you just have to worry about creating your agent site. And then what it does is it automatically links you into that team website. So it's just different viewpoints inside of booj.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And we can jump back into that if anyone has questions about kind of how to edit team sites or what the different kind of access is. But yeah, so right now I think everybody should be in their agent account. Okay. So under the video section, you can actually change out this video. So it just has to be some sort of video that's hosted on YouTube. So for those of you that have your own YouTube channel and you're uploading things like listing videos or things like that, you can actually link in those videos to your Remax website. If you are not a big YouTuber, but you just want to include some sort of video on here, you can definitely still do that. You just click into the video content block. And then you're just going to take whatever link from YouTube that you want and you're going to paste it in here. And so let me move this little guy. I'm going to go and open up another tab and go to Remax LLC's YouTube channel. And so if I find one of these videos, it's going to start playing automatically. Don't do it. Okay, so if you go to their YouTube channel here, you can go to the videos section. And you can scroll through and they have all these awesome commercials and videos that they're posting on here now. So if you found one that you liked, you could copy the link and put it into your booj website. So let's see, they have all of these commercials. Let's just pick a random one. All right, so we'll click on this one. Save money with that discount. So if you find one that you like, what you can do is come in here. There is a share button, and it's going to give you a custom link for this video. So you can just hit copy. And then we're going to jump back over to the booj tab, and we're just going to delete this one and right click and paste in that new video link. So it automatically pulls it over from YouTube. And again, you can do this for any video that's hosted on YouTube. So if you have a private channel, definitely use your own content but if not, whatever you think is interesting or relevant for your website. And now this one does have a video title. So if you'll notice at the bottom underneath the video itself here, the title does show. So you could just say, whatever you want about the video, and then it's going to show right there. So if everything looks good, you just hit save. And now on your website, as we scroll down, you have the new video in here. Any questions on how to update this video to pull something from YouTube?
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
I have a related question.
Sure.
I've been trying to change out my blog to my personal blog, and I've saved it like 4 times, and it keeps defaulting back to the Remax blog.
Yes, I think right now the contact or the blog box is just the Remax one. There is a way to.
It allows you to do the exact same thing you just did with the YouTube video, but then it won't save it, even though I hit save.
Okay, I had the same issue with the Zillow review blocks where I kept putting in the screen name and it kept not saving it. So maybe try it a couple more times and see if it's fixed. And if not, we can put a ticket in to see if they can get that fixed. Because the Zillow one did the same thing, and then I tried like 3 days later, and then it worked. So it might be that they're working on it on the back end.
It could be the exact same format you just did for the video, and I did my video ages ago. It's in there. It's huge, but it's in there.
Yeah, no, I would just give it some time, and then if not, there is always the support center that you can just put the tickets in, and they usually are pretty good about fixing these stuff.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Any other questions on the video? Very simple, just a single video, copying and pasting the link. And then the contact form, which is the last one that is already on Sandy's website. So the only thing that you can really change on here is this title. So send me a message if you wanted to say, call me, contact me, or let's chat, or whatever you want to put, you can customize that here as well. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just jump into this Adblock section, just so you guys can see all of the different options that are available to you. So if you do want to add in your own blog like Margaret, or different kind of content blocks, you can definitely do that. So if you hit that Adblock section, you'll notice there are all of these different options. And so the little description kind of just gives you a rundown of what's available to you. So if you're trying to do something totally custom, my advice would be just to click into one of these, see if it works for you, and if not, just delete it off your website. They have a whole bunch of options, and I don't know if anyone has theirs open and they have questions on kind of what they are or how to kind of customize them, definitely let me know. You'll notice there's multiple options for the listing blocks. So you have like a slideshow view, which again allows you to kind of click through it, or they have a grid view, which is going to be more just like tiles of your listings showing up on your website. There's the blog block that Margaret was talking about. Video slideshow, again, if you're really big on video and you have like a YouTube channel, for example, you could do a video slideshow versus just an individual video. And then all you're going to do, just like when we were looking at the header image, is you're just going to upload multiple links to different videos. And if it would be helpful for me to jump into any of these, just let me know. You can chat in, or if there's any that you guys have questions on. So all of these call to action blocks are different options of the one that we have on the website already, which was this one with the about me, which we don't know why it says about me. So if you don't like this type of call to action, you can jump to maybe the mobile version of it. And again, if you want to see what this looks like, just click into it. It's going to show you exactly what this looks like. So I guess this one is just a let's work together, and it's kind of specified just for luxury agents. So if that looks good, you can keep it. Again, it's going to bring it to the bottom of your page, your website page, automatically. But let's say that doesn't really fit what we're looking for. Just hit this little trash can and remove it. No harm, no foul. So question in the chat, the listings have to be current or sold. So they have to be current listings or under contract listings for them to show up on your page. They do not yet, to my knowledge, have anything for just sold. And then if you represented a buyer, can you put the ones that have already closed or the ones where you represented the buyer on your page? Right now, I don't believe there is a way to just set up like a content block about just sold. But what you can do is get really creative and go to this Adblock option and consider something like the image slideshow, where you can go in and you can upload a photo of the homes that you've sold maybe in the past 6 months or something like that. And so you would just come in here, hit, let's do, image text slideshow. It would just give you the option to select the image where you would upload the image of the home, and then maybe you would just want to put a brief description of the home itself. And it even gives you an option to link in a website. So if you had like a property website, or maybe on your personal non-RE/MAX website, you had more information about that home, you could link it up right here. Does that make sense? So there's ways you can kind of customize the site to really fit your needs if you want to. So don't be kind of limited with the content blocks. You can kind of customize them if you need to. I'll remove that one so Sandy doesn't get mad and have me kicked out of her booj account. Carmen asks, once you remove a block, can you add it back in? So not really. So if there's a block that maybe is one where you're going to put in a bunch of text and you delete it, all of that text or the images or whatever it is that you put in there will be gone, unfortunately. So that's why the publish and the draft mode is really nice, because you can put things into draft if you're just not really sure about it, and then that way you don't have to worry about it being deleted or other people seeing it on your live website. It's only visible to you. So if you're nervous about deleting something, just put it into draft mode like this. Okay, so I'm going to jump into Adblock just to see if there's anything else in here that is worth noting. Okay, I think we're good on the blocks. If you guys have any questions, or if you are trying to accomplish like a certain, something like what Fanja said, where she wants to show her previous sold homes, just reach out to me and we can kind of walk through it and kind of do some troubleshooting and get creative. All right, so I'm gonna hit cancel. If everything looks good on my website, I am just going to hit this exit button. And if you want to see the full preview before you do that, you can hit this button here and it will show you essentially what you're going to see when you publish your website. So I feel good about it, so I'm just going to hit exit and see if something happens. Okay, there we go. Just a little slow. So if you notice, it brings me back to this pages section, which to me is just like really confusing and it just lists everything out. So I've been kind of ignoring this. It didn't used to look like this. It was a lot more streamlined. So I'm going to go back to the website tab up at the top, and then I'm going to hit this dashboard tab one more time. And so now that I have gone through and I've edited my website, I am, if I have not already, going to hit the publish button on the far right. If you've already published your site and you made some changes, it will update on your website, no problem. So you don't really have to do anything here, but if you have not published your site and you feel comfortable with it now, go ahead and hit that publish button so that you're actually live and people can actually find you on the RE/MAX website. Any questions on that? So you're given your unique RE/MAX website address here. And so for those of you that have purchased a domain from kind of like a third party, so if you've purchased something from GoDaddy or maybe Google or something like that, and you want to point that at your RE/MAX website, you can use this domain to redirect your purchased domain. And if you guys have any questions on that, just let me know. Pretty much what you would do is wherever you purchase that domain, you want to log into that account, and there should be an option to either forward or redirect that domain to this RE/MAX website address. Cool. Okay, and then right below all of your website stuff is your mobile app branding. And so I think we've talked about this a few times now, but you have essentially 3 different platforms or versions of all this booj stuff. So you have what we're looking at right now, which is booj on the desktop version or the laptop version. You have a booj mobile app, which is really just for you, the agent, to be able to do all the same stuff that you're doing on your booj desktop, but from a mobile perspective. And then you have your mobile branded app, which is here. And so what this is kind of the consumer facing app. So this is the new version of the Remax app that you use to share with your clients. So it's branded to you, it's customized to have all your information, your pictures, stuff like that. And what you can do is share this with your clients. Again, they'll have all of your information. It's going to be branded to you, but they can go onto this app and do home searches. They can save listings. They can communicate with you. All they're going to want to do is essentially you'll text them a link to your app, or you can send them this link right here. They'll go on, they'll create their account, and since it's linked to your branded mobile app, anything that they do once they create their account, you're going to see in your booj CRM. And so let's say Sandy sent me her link for her mobile app, and I'm in there, I create my Remax account, and then I start saving all these homes, and I put kind of comments on them. Sandy's going to be able to see all of that in booj. Okay, so what I've been recommending to people, if you have this open already, just so that you can have this link saved onto your phone, you can either text yourself, or if you feel like typing out this whole link, just message yourself this, just text yourself this link and save it in like the notes section of your phone. So that way, if you're like out or you're at an open house or you meet someone, I mean, we're not really going out and meeting people right now, but when we get back to normal and you're like at a mixer or something, you can give them this branded link for your app. They can go into it, and then of course they'll be linked into your booj CRM. So just save this link so that you have it, you can access it quickly, so that you don't always have to come into your booj account and text that person directly from here. Questions on the different apps and kind of how that works? Chris in the chat asked, if somebody just Googles your name, will they be directed to this website? What other types of searches will bring them here? So essentially you're creating your agent site on Remax.com. So Remax does a really nice job of making sure that if someone, yes, does Google your name, that you will show up at the top of the search results. So if they do click on that, it will bring them directly to your agent site. Additionally, if someone is on the Remax site and they click on listings and they view one of your listings, it will bring them to your site. If they Google kind of Charlotte Remax, things of that nature, they could stumble upon your site. I mean, it kind of just depends on what they're exactly looking for, but yes, the intention is that they will come to your website. Okay. So Candy asked, I own another app through Homestack. Can I also call my booj app the same thing, or call the same booj app the same name? So I guess my advice with that is you don't want to kind of overwhelm your clients by giving them too many options. So maybe just decide if you would rather have them use Homestack to do the searching, or if you'd rather have them use the booj app to do the searching. I have a feeling with Homestack and booj, they probably have similar features as far as kind of finding homes and things like that, but I guess I don't quite understand the same name part. If you want to message me, we can talk through it. Okay. All right. So thanks, Candy. The website dashboard tab is the one that we're on right now. That's the one that I would probably use the most. If you want, so let's jump into Sandy's website so we can all see it. So the website that we created is all, well, when this loads, there we kind of loading. slowly, is all here. So you notice her bio and everything came through, even though it wasn't showing in the preview. She has her reviews from Zillow, all of her listings, social media, call to action, her video, and contact form. So if you notice up here at the top, there is a menu option. And so if you click on the menu, it has all of these different pages that Remax has actually already built out for you. So you guys should have the same thing on your website. So I would encourage you to kind of go through and view these different pages and make sure that it sounds like you, or there's not any edits that you want to make. And I'm going to show you where you can go in and edit all of those pages if you want to, or even just straight up delete them if for whatever reason you don't like them. So this is her live website. I'm going to jump back over to the booj tab, and I'm going to go on the website tab down to navigation. So if I click on navigation, it will eventually bring me, there we go, to my active navigation tab. And so what this screen really does is it shows you everything that is on your menu, and it allows you to go in and edit these pages individually. So for whatever reason, if you wanted to come in and edit something, you can do that. You can also, let's say you maybe didn't like one of these pages. I don't want to mess up Sandy's account, but you can hover over the page itself and click and drag it over to the left side here. And this left side is really just going to be your unlinked pages. So that means that it's not going to show up. It's not linked to your live website. Does that make sense for everybody? So this is your menu. So if I jump back over to Sandy's, we'll notice Buyer's Guide, Mobile App. If I hit her menu, I have Buyer's Guide, Mobile App, Home Val, Seller's Guide. Then I jump back to booj. This is my navigation. I have all of those same web pages here. So if you click into one of those web pages, it's going to look exactly the same as that first agent page that we were working on. It's built up with content blocks. You can customize the content blocks the same way. You can add, delete, whatever you need to do. So if I jump into this Buyer's Guide one, just so you guys can see it, it will give you the same options to edit, rearrange, whatever you want to do for all of these pages. Or sorry, all of these content blocks. One thing that I will point out, because I had a few people ask me, they didn't necessarily like the title of Buyer's Guide on their menu. So you can come into page details, and you can actually change the title of that page. And Carmen asks, is this pertaining to mobile? So you should be able to see the full agent website and the menu on desktop and mobile, to my knowledge. There's always a disclaimer when it comes to booj because they switch things and they don't tell us. And then Al and I are doing trainings and everything looks different. But if you want to change the title of the page, you can do that here. And then you can just jump back to blocked list and go through and re-edit or change any of your content blocks. And Suzette, yes, all of this I am recording and I will put it on YouTube so you can do kind of a screen by screen and kind of follow through on your website later. Don't worry, or call me. Okay, questions on kind of editing individual pages. All right, so I'm gonna hit exit. And since we have about 10 minutes left, I'm just gonna show you one or two more things and then I'll open it up for questions. And then again, if you guys kind of dive into this and you have issues or questions or you're trying to accomplish something, just call me and we can kind of walk through it. Okay, so we were under the navigation tab. Again, that's just gonna run you through your menu and give you access to those individual pages to edit. Really awesome. You can also add additional items and things like that in here as well if you want to. That's kind of a 2.0 version, but if you really want to customize it, just let me know and we can kind of walk through that as well. Okay, so underneath navigation, templates, to be honest, I don't really go into that screen. If you want to look at it, you can, but I want to jump into testimonials for those of you that are not using Zillow for your reviews. So in Sandy's, remember we had the sample testimonials that were talking about Joe. So if those show up on yours, you can actually come in here and you can delete the individual sample testimonials in here as well. But if you wanted to add your own and have that linked up to your website, you can definitely do that. All you want to do is hit this add testimonial block, put in the person's name, write out the testimonial, and then give it a 1 to 5 star rating. So not anything crazy. You can, and if you have it on an external site, you can pretty much just copy and paste everything and hit add. And then each time that you do that, it will just show up on your website as an additional testimonial. Now, if you're going to take the time to do these manual testimonials, just make sure, obviously, that on your website you have the manual testimonial content block and it is in published mode. So if you choose to go down this route, they're not just going to automatically apply or show up. You do have to make sure you have that content block on there. And Chris asked in the chat, so how often do the listings update? So I would say if you put it into MLS, maybe give it 24 hours. It will probably show up sooner than that, but that would be kind of the safe range, I would say. But they should show up pretty quickly onto your website.
I guess, Sarah, my real question is, you said earlier, okay, if you don't have any active listings, it'll pull like 6 of the company listings and put them on there. And so those go out, but then do they get updated automatically, or how does that work?
Yep, so it's kind of like a live feed to MLS. And so if you add something, it's going to show your listings. If you don't have any listings, it should pull through the company listings as well. And they'll just kind of update or change as they change in MLS.
So do you get notified somehow that something's changed, or do you just have to kind of look at this every day?
As far as just the new listings coming onto your site?
Or anything else that's kind of real time or gets updated. I mean, I guess it would pertain to testimonials as well. I mean, something that I'm learning, and maybe everybody else on this call learned it a long time ago. If you've got something on automatic, sometimes you get notified that it, got updated, and it seems like other times you don't. And I don't think you want, somebody that clicks on your website, seeing something that you don't even realize is on there and reacting to it or asking about it, that sort of thing.
Okay, no, that makes sense. To my knowledge, I don't believe there's any type of notification set up right now. I think it would just be, I think the only things that are doing live feed would be the listings, the Zillow review, and maybe the social media content. So yeah, so maybe if you are nervous about that, I would maybe just monitor it and just kind of see what exactly is showing up on your site, just in case, yeah, like you said, you do get questions. But the Zillow reviews should be hopefully reviews from previous clients or vendors or things like that. So hopefully they are okay.
Okay, well, and this might be my last question, but
yeah.
So when we get to back at you tomorrow, yeah, I found out that if you schedule something like every other day to post on any or all of your social media, it's kind of hard to get that stopped. I don't know why. And maybe I'll call you separately if we look into that. But I went in and changed that back to never post, but it's still posting. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we can definitely dive into your account and kind of see what's going on.
Okay.
Have control over it. Yeah, no problem.
And the reason I did that is because what I found out is that those suggested posts from back at you are not at all relevant to what's going on right now.
Okay. Yeah.
They just apparently, come from some feed that was made maybe months, or I don't know how long ago they were, but anyway.
Yeah, no, we can definitely look into that tomorrow. And there's ways you can kind of customize the content or edit the content on there. So yeah, that will be a tune in tomorrow at 10, and we will dive into back at you and kind of get that figured out for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, any other, Margaret asked if we could change the background color on the home page. Sadly, no. So Remax does kind of keep their brand standards and kind of seamless look to it. And I think it's with the intention of kind of having a cohesive brand. So unfortunately, no, they do not let you change colors or font types or anything like that. But good question. All right, so under the website tab, I don't have too much else to show you. So domain manager is here, but again, my recommendation is to go into the site where you are hosting your domain if you did purchase one, and make those changes over there. So I'm not going to jump into domain manager. And then website settings, all this is asking you is kind of your preference on kind of capturing leads. And so this would be if someone were to go onto your website, and they start clicking through listings, you have an option to choose kind of a relaxed registration setting where it kind of allows them to go through and view listings without putting in their contact information, or it allows you to do it as a more restricted. So maybe after they click on a couple listings, eventually you're going to prompt them to put in their contact info if they want to view more. So up to you. I will say a lot of the times consumers are kind of put off by having to put in their contact info. If they are looking at stuff online, sometimes they just want to browse. So you'll still get leads, don't worry about that, but it does give you the option here if you want to kind of make it more relaxed or restrictive. So other than that, with 4 minutes left, I didn't think it was going to take this long. I was thinking we'd be on here for like 30 minutes today, but this is good. So does anybody have any questions about websites or their content blocks or the menu, anything that I can answer while we're on the call? And yes, Candy, I will call you afterwards. Alrighty. The last thing I'll point out, so if you are a team leader, you do want to go and hit that role section. If I may have clicked on that too soon. So underneath the booj logo on the left side, you can go into your team leader section here, hit change role, and you will want to do the same thing with your team website that we just did with the agent website. And if any of you guys have questions, any of you team leaders out there have questions on that, please definitely reach out to me and let me know, and we can kind of walk through how to build out your team website as well. But it's the same concept, same principles, same kind of content blocks and everything, just a different site. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And yes, we will be here tomorrow at 10, and we're going to dive into Back at You, which is really just kind of a hub for your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter account, and it creates content for you. So all good stuff. But if you guys have questions, you know my email. You can call me, whatever you need to do. I'm here. All right. Have a great day.